My friend Tyler got sent this message from Ollie, who created the solar punk residency, and he was like, hey Tyler, do you know anyone who would fit the bill, like for who you would be like, yeah, like fuck yeah, to this residency program? And Tyler, I suppose, knows me. We've known each other from like SF and New York and stuff, and have had cool kind of encounters. And he just sent it to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. It's shown out to be really chaotic, and like the solar punk residency is actually something that is going to get self-organized now. So the actual programming of like bringing people together and like working on like cool ideas to do with like sustainability and stuff. So yeah, I actually was hoping this would be a respite, but it's been quite the opposite. So yeah.
What is Moos to you?
Moos is a chaotic mess looking to find function. But it is beautiful, and people put love and care, but it has kind of chewed up some people, spit people out who are, and I think it's also a place that can be tricky to maintain peace of mind unless you are quite intentional in stepping out. I think it attracts a lot of people trying to do the insecure thing, which is progress humanity and create new systems.
Yeah.
And so I find it very easy to project my own insecurities about the efficacy, my own efficacy, onto, and the more insecure people feel, the worse the energy is, and the more people are flexing in a baseless, hollow way. That is also my projection, but could also be true. They could be spouting BS, but all new things are BS until they gain traction. And without knowing people's credentials, whatever signals, you're just like trying to listen into all these, the chit chat and the we're doing the next big thing, you know. It can be a bit challenging.
Are there things that you have learned from your time here that you're gonna take with you?
Yeah, like generosity, abundance, like how to access abundance within a community.
This is new for you.
Yeah, I was in a bit of a scarcity mindset before, and I've been very lucky to have just been given. It's rough. Like you feel like you don't deserve anything. People are really kind. The power of cooking is very important. And like boundary setting, vibes.
You mentioned you're coming from a scarcity mindset. Has something changed for you to see it in an abundance mindset, or are you doing something differently? Or
honestly, someone I met at Moos has become my patron, which is really helpful. Wow. So that's been amazing. Like I think I talk a lot of shit about Moos, but like the people here are like really cool. And really like, I think I'll just talk about this very briefly. It's like the reason I put hate out is because I realized when meditating that like my hatred is actually out of the sense of I can't love everyone to the depths that they deserve to be loved. I have limited time and energy, and I just want to love, like, but I need to also love myself foremost. And the fact that I have to sometimes like strip myself away from people and like do my own thing, like makes me angry, you know, like makes me just be like, fuck, you know, like I would rather create a narrative of like, I hate you, to then be like, I have to love me, which is not healthy, but I'm sometimes triggered to that extent. So this is the very nexus at which I'm trying to reform, like letting people go and like fading in and out of people's lives, even in the day-to-day. Maybe this is just like idealistic. I don't want to hate anyone, but sometimes I do find motherfuckers annoying and trite and like but it's also weird because like sometimes I see people so deeply and they know that they see, like I see them, but it's just like I can't maintain these relationships sometimes, you know, especially since everyone's like fucking floating through the space. But there have been times when I've really been there for people, but like sometimes the bitch ass attitude still comes out. I'm like, bro, like I'm not saying like you should be fixed by now, but I'm like, you're still being bitch ass. But I think it's because like people don't feel safe. Like when I'm feeling safe with someone and they feel safe with me, that's when the really good shit comes out. But like a lot of people don't feel safe. I don't feel safe sometimes, and that's when I'm like really angry. Like that's when I really hate people, because I have to push them away because I'm like triggered easily in that state of being. What were we talking about before?
Doesn't matter.
No, yeah. I thought it was like there was like a good like thread. Abundance. Oh yeah, abundance. Yeah, it's getting better.
Yeah.
Even like words of affirmation, like I feel like you're gonna get the bag, Kaixi. I'm like, thank you. Like I hold on to that, and then I'm like, I have faith. I look in my bank account. I'm like, I'm not in the deep shit right now. You know,
it's not a crisis.
It's not a crisis. You were here for 3 months.
Yeah.
Did you find this overwhelming, or just warming?
Yeah. I never said it that directly, but I mean, I mean, it's obviously not just one thing, right? So, I mean, for me, it was a new level of co-living. I've never lived with that many people at the same time, and also everybody's like super cool, and I like everybody, and it's fun to hang out. Like it's like Candyland, you know, like it's just candy everywhere. Yeah. So mostly just good vibes, and then there is, and so that's like a two-sided thing where like I just want to be around everybody, and at the same time I don't set boundaries very easily, so I kind of lose myself. And I allowed myself to do that deliberately for the first month or so, just because it's a new experience and I just wanted to understand. Yeah. But then after that I was like, okay, I want to actually just do some of my stuff, and I feel like I can't because I don't know how to say no, or it's too interesting to hang out with all these people. So that became a bit overwhelming. The co-living, like cleanup routines or whatever, like I was constantly like doing the dishes, and that was also maybe partially my fault because I would just do it so quick and maybe people wouldn't have a chance to chip in. But this kind of thing also, I was kind of like fed up with that, and like just the like anyway, so just basically co-living stuff was kind of overwhelming, but it's a nice mixed bag.